Hey guys, in today's video we're talking about Rory Laird, the most expensive player in Supercoach, coming in at 703k and a midfielder from Adelaide. Hope you enjoy. Were you a starter of Rory Laird last year, or were you kind of a jump on the bandwagon type of player?
No, I was a jump on the bandwagon sort of player, but the bandwagon I jumped on, I think I jumped on way before a lot of other people did. I could definitely see the writing on the wall that this guy was going to be a must-have. I didn't luck into him like some people had to trade it in bloody steel, and then like yourself, and then you had to get off steel. I saw him and I targeted him. He was in my sights, and it was awesome. Honestly, the guy, he's a legend, bro. I freaking love this guy so much, man. Like I've spoken to you off camera, how much I love him and how much I feel so surprised that not many people love him as much as I do, clearly.
He's had a real rise to stardom in the last couple of years, especially with Supercoach. Remember, he was a defender for a while, and then he had DPP, I think, and then obviously last year, maybe it been the last or the first time that he actually came in as a pure midfielder, maybe. I think so, but yeah, just kind of has taken over that Adelaide midfield, made it his own. He's in his prime of his life. Adelaide's doing okay on the ladder, and he's just doing fantastic for those that actually had him last year. As we said in the intro, I was a person who had, I think I had picked Jack Steele maybe over him, just being a little bit cheaper. Rode the wave there with his price rises. And then Jack Steele, I think, did his shoulder in that game. And they had to try and find someone to actually sideways to with some cash. And Rory Laird was obviously there pumping out 140s every week. So like, hey, jump on this. Otherwise, you'll never be able to afford him again. And that was the case for a lot of people that, you know, sideways to a different player.
Yeah, because his build, it's not something that has come like a thief in the night. This guy has been building slowly and slowly. He's had, that was his last year that went by was his 4th year of roughly a 10-point increase in his average. You know what I mean? Like in 2019, he had 96.8. In 2020, he went 105.1. In 2021, he went to 116.2. And then last year, he went 127.8. If this trend continues, 4 years is not a short span of time. Could we be seeing a 130, over 130 average from this guy? Are we talking Gary Ablett Jr. here or something? Like, this guy is up there, bro, with the Supercoach scoring. It's ridiculous.
And it's not even like it's a consistent 130 either, like a few other players. His ceiling's actually quite good as well. Last year, he had a high score of a 156. And his lowest, imagine you coming into a year and saying, hey, your lowest premium score you're going to score is a 93. Like, everything else is going to be over 100 or close or like smashing 100s. A 93. And that was like at the start of the year as well, when he just came off. I think he did a foot or something like that and missed the first 2 games and then just came in like a house on fire.
Exactly. 20 games. The guy played 20 games, and 14 of them were over 120. 4 between 100 and 120. This guy is so consistent. He is a walking captain. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even just a set and forget. Bro, you could set and forget him as a captain. You know what I mean? Like, you could go to Hawaii tomorrow and not have any problem because you've accidentally left him as your captain starting, before the start of the year. The guy is so consistent. He hardly ever gives you a poor score. And because of that, he will hardly drop in price as much because he doesn't give you those stinkers. He's always in and around his break even. He will maintain a price, obviously, given how super expensive he is to start this year, but he's going to drop a little bit in price. But the question is it worth it? Is it worth giving up like 6 weeks worth of captaincy scoring to save yourself? And this is according to Supercoach Gold. You look at the projection. If you click on him and you look forward to the head of the year, the Supercoach Gold has him scoring 120, 133, 122, 120, 132, 126, right? He will, and that's in the first 6 weeks, he'll lose 23K. Now, okay, fine. You get him at round 7, 23K cheaper. But guess what? You missed out on a 120, a 133, a 122, a 120, a 132, and a 126. Very worth it. I saved 20K that way as a result. I think it's important to think value, yes. But this, I think, is being way too stingy with your money, I reckon.
And you've probably spent 3 trades as well on top of that to actually bring him in. Because unless you're trading a premium, or the likes of like Dom Sheed and Hopper somehow end up to being, close to 400 to 500K each, you're really not going to be able to bring these kind of high elite level players in. We've seen Oliver drop a couple of 90s and things like that, kind of just in the nature of how the Melbourne midfield is. Yes, his ceiling's a lot higher, but he has a few, a lot more lower level games. Petrarca goes big. We've got guys like Hunter coming in, Brayshaw coming in, who may take a bit more of that ball. There's no one else really at Adelaide. We've spoken to people about Ben Keys. Yes, he had a great year, tapered off a little bit, but he's not one to really come and steal his scoring. And what's another great Sam Berry stat you've got there, Joe?
So I know there are people that are saying, "Oh, this is the year of Sam Berry. He's going to go 100 plus. He's going to average. He's going to eat into lead scoring. We'll wait for him to drop in price a little bit." All right, guys. I've heard you, and I had a look at it. Sam Berry, yes, he's a great young player. He's coming onto the scene, and he really built into the year. I understand this. So before the buys, Sam Berry, he wasn't a regular in the CBAs. He really well and truly cemented himself in that position after the buys. So before the buys, when there was less of Berry, Laird averaged 121.9. Okay, very good. But after the buy, when Berry was more cemented in there and was getting a lot more CBAs, Laird's average went up to 133.8. And if you're telling me in reports that Berry is going to play more midfield, and Berry showed me that with him in the midfield, he helped Laird score more. And you're telling me we're going to see more of that this year. Why is this guy at 11% ownership and Clayton Oliver, blessed be his name, is at 45% ownership and this guy's at 11? Just for that slight difference in price. For me,
you know why?
I can't understand.
You know why? Because they haven't watched our video yet. That's why. That's why. We're going to be the reason why he goes up to 20+%. You just watch. This video is going to get like 15,000 views. He's going to end up like 25% ownership. And boy, oh boy, those people that wanted Laird as a super pod, no one's going to pick him, autofill teams. Nah, it's not going to happen this year. Looking at his kind of fixture, he does really well at home in Adelaide Oval. And I think Joe was saying to me off camera, he's got something like 8 out of the first 13 games at Adelaide Oval. Like, that's right. Where's the negative here outside of his price, which is a lot to give up? You've got $10 million. You're almost spending 10% of that on a single player. You've got 600K players. They're similar as well, but you're almost spending 10%. You're spending 7% of your salary cap on this player effectively. Outside of that, outside of not being able to pay for him and afford him in your team, there really isn't any negatives. We're looking at training reports coming out of Adelaide. There's no news about him. And generally that means that, hey, it's a good thing. It's not like, oh, he had a niggle, he did an ankle. They're trying to move him around or someone else is taking his time. There's just none of that. And that means that, hey, the trajectory, maybe he doesn't go up and smash a 130, but he's not going to regress. It's not like he's 32 and he's coming off injury, that kind of thing. He's only 29 this year, guys.
Exactly. There's nothing clear that will tell us that this guy is going to drop his scoring for some bizarre reason. There's nothing. If anything, he might even, like, not only is he going to remain as the cornerstone of that team, Keys is out, he might get more tag. This guy doesn't care about tags. If you tag him, thank you.
Oh. I think Joe's battery ran out.
What the hell happened there?
I don't know. You just left.
I'm literally talking mid-sentence, and if something disconnected, make sure your internet is fine. Bro, I'm literally plugged in Ethernet cable.
I don't know, man. Your camera's gone all like laggy too.
Pick the guy. Pick Rory Laird. He's the sure thing. He's gonna be, if not, he's gonna be a top 3 mid, guaranteed. He's gonna barely drop in price. Don't think you're smart fading all of these big captaincy scores to save yourself 20K. There's a lot easier ways to save yourself 20K. Believe me. Just don't start Bruce or King on the bench and you save yourself money. But you got to have this guy play. His average is over 120. He averages at home, and 8 of his 13 games at the start of the season are at home. Yeah. You're thinking of you have to get him in at some point. You're going to just be burning yourself if you're trying to save yourself 20K. It's not wise, guys. It's not wise.
Yeah, that initial kind of cash generation is something that's really important and can jump you up the ladder. And spending potentially three players who are hoping to go 1-to-1 to grab a premium to actually bring, a 700K guy in, it's just not worth it. I know personally with my team, after kind of speaking about him with Joe and kind of looking over these things for the video, I'm trying to get him in. I'm forcing other players out to bring him in because I don't want to be the guy that really struggles without that. Is he in your team at the moment, Joe?
Yes, he is. I know I released my team review, my team update last night, but when I was doing my research for this guy, I had to. I'm reading these numbers and I'm typing up the notes. And I'm like, what the heck? It's as if I've discovered gold for the first time ever. Or, I cracked, the freaking 2 rocks together and a spark came out and there was fire all of a sudden. I felt like a caveman that was somehow entered into the Renaissance. This guy, at 11% ownership compared to 45 for Clary, who by reports apparently is still struggling with his thumb.
Yep. In a more stacked midfield as well.
In a more stacked midfield with Grundy, who I don't think is going to feed him as much as Jackson did. I think Grundy is going to have – Grundy's loves to have the ball in his hand as well and play as an extra midfielder. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't want you to share this video. I want you, if you are smart enough to be watching this video, keep this information to yourself. Let's keep Laird's ownership down as much as possible. We don't want other people to clue onto the fact that for that little bit extra, you can get the best Supercoach scorer apart from Bond when he doesn't have Dunkley in the team. This guy, he's in my team, bro. He is in my team.
100%. All right, guys. Well, remember, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We've got our Supercoach group. I'll chuck it down in the description. You guys can win some amazing prizes. And, if you can't win Supercoach, you can always win an AFL, always win some tickets there and an AFL store voucher. Any final words, Joe?
Please, guys, you got to hit that notification bell because we are pumping out a lot of content. And next week is team review week. All your videos, all of your teams that you've been bombarding us with. Don't worry, we will get to all of you, or as much as we can. We will get through you guys. So please stay tuned for that.
100%. Hey guys, remember at the centre bounce, we do the hard work so you don't have to. Bye for now.